Hello and welcome to your new favorite radio station. I'm your host, Girl with Thoughts, and this is 30 minutes of easy listening to my random thoughts. So tune in and turn your brain on because it has been off for too long. Disclaimer: everything discussed in the program is only my personal opinion. No topic is off limit and every conversation is made up on the spot. If you want more detailed talk about discussed topics, I will gladly make longer broadcasts. Now, let's enjoy today's broadcast. Hello, everyone. Once again, I want to wish you all a happy new year and all the holidays that were in the last year and that are coming up in this year. I hope you're doing fine, that you're healthy and happy in this year. I cannot believe it's been 6 months since I last uploaded a video. I mean, I was kind of busy, not gonna lie, and I don't beat myself up too much about it because this is one of my newer hobbies and I just want to make it when I feel like it, and I didn't promise myself too much about this YouTube channel because I know it takes a lot of time, and certainly I only talk when I have some thoughts, which I didn't have time to have in the last year because I was doing university work and everything. It's been chaotic, not gonna lie, and it takes me time to edit things and all of that, and as you can see I'm not really good at editing, but I'm trying. So I got a new mic and I have to thank my friend that got it for me, so thank you. um, and let's get started. This topic is something that's been on my mind for a really long time, but I just can't seem to get to it or to get myself to talk about it because it's something that really resonates with me. And yeah, so today we don't have a script, so there will be a lot of errors and mistakes, and I hope you forgive me for that and my pronunciation. Maybe sometimes I will lack some words or repeat myself, but please forgive me for that because I want this to be authentic and true. And I mean, for every broadcast, I just have had a few bullet points that I wanted to go through, never a full on script. And let's begin. So, today I wanted to talk about creativity and originality. So, I would like to firstly say the definitions for me. That this is what I think about these, let's say, words and whatever you want to call it. So, for me, originality is something that's new, as the word says, original, something never seen before, and something, it can be like small things like changing a style that's original and never seen before, changing the writing or something like that. So, a lot of, like, let's say, new scientific research can be original, new discoveries can be original. Also in the arts and everything like that, there can be a new original style of painting, writing, making music, original beats, so on and so on. But in our time and age, it has become less and less, if I can say that I see something original. And that's fine because we've been on this planet for so long that you can only there is no chance for you to make something so original, like fully original, that nobody has done before. And that's fine with me, I'm not gonna lie, because it's hard and nobody expects that from you. On the other side, creativity is something that I think is really personal and really subjective, because creativity comes in many forms and is something that it's like kind of an output for your talent and your thinking. So you have creative thinking with solving problems, creative. You can be creative in means of doing arts, writing, making music, painting, yeah, or acting or something like that. So I connect creativity with more of like arts and that kind of let's say jobs. And also, as I said, there is creative thinking with people who are really good at maths and like more more like how do I put it? More like practical things, if I can say, because you use critical thinking to solve problems and they have step by step and so on and so on. So it's not chaotic creativity. It has a system. Yeah, system. Okay, great. I remember the word. Um, and so for me myself, why I wanted to talk about this because I consider myself to be a creative person. Since I like to write and I like to read also, and everything that comes with those two hobbies, but I don't consider myself creative enough, if it makes sense to you. Because I do have creativity, but I don't think I have enough of it to be good. I'm not original. I will say that first of all, because the things and the topics I talk about were talked a long time ago and are still talked about, and I just accept that. I don't have to be original, but I think I am lacking in, um, I cannot say discipline, but for for a fraction of what I'm lacking, it is discipline because for you to be constantly creative and constantly creating something, you have to be disciplined. And I am kind of lacking that. But when I see myself and when I see other people's work, I do think and I do consider myself less creative than them. I don't know if it is the social medias that we have these days that are making me think that way. And I do read a lot about like people say, oh, it's important that it's from you. People will resonate when it's true and authentic work, when maybe your story has been told but it hasn't been told by you, and yeah, sure, that's fine and dainty and all of that. But I still think, my biggest fear, and I maybe can speak for a lot of writers, is for your work to not be published. But it's not that fear um, that's limiting me. It's the fear that my creativity isn't enough for people to understand it. And I think one of my also big problem is that I want people to resonate with my work and feel the emotions that I feel when I'm writing. And since it's the book that I want to write is something that's really close to me and in some form has happened to me, I feel really strong emotions towards it, and I want people to feel them too. But I cannot expect everybody to feel the same as I do or to understand the words and the sentences and the meanings as I do, which is normal. We're people, we understand things differently. But it's something that's limiting me, and then I start writing in too much detail, and I'm like, uh, over explaining myself, and it's a really bad habit, and I just cannot seem to get rid of it because I don't know, it's hard for me to think of myself, to think seriously about myself, because I dream about being published, but I cannot see myself being published, if that makes sense. It's something that's really odd to explain, at least for myself, because even when I had discipline, for example, I wrote my friend a book, and it has like 185 pages, which is, let's say standard. It's fine. It's not a big book, but it's a book. And I was writing it for a really long time, and I had discipline at some point for 2 months, because I have a life and I cannot just dedicate myself to writing every day. But for 2 months, I would wake up, make myself a coffee, and write, 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 and that was fine. And then I got to editing it, and I started dreading it. I started hating my work, and I think a lot of people can resonate with this and understand where I'm coming from. Because for the fifth time I was reading it, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This is trash. This you cannot understand what's going on. Some parts are confusing. What is this? You know, it's really oh my god, critical. And I have that imposter syndrome, and it's really hard for me to get through it. And I was like, at the end, for the after I read it for the fifth time, I was like, I'm not reading it again because I will deleting the whole thing. Uh, but and I for her birthday I printed it out and gave it to her. And you know, I made two copies, and I didn't open my copy because I was like, I'm gonna see all the mistakes, all the grammar mistakes, all the, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna like it. And then a few days ago, at 4 in the morning, she was like, I read it whole in an hour. And I'm like, are you crazy? I was writing that for like a year. Not actively, but yeah, it took me a year. And she's like, this is amazing. I like this part. I like this. And you know, it made me fall in love with what I wrote because I can see what emotion she was going through. And it just really makes me happy. But the problem is with the book I really want to publish, because this was just a gift. Let's say maybe I would publish this, but not in this form. I would really work on it for a really long time for me to consider this being published. But you know, the the book that I want to publish, it's hard for me because I know I would make so many drafts. It would take so much time because I would want it to be perfect, and I know perfection can be hardly achieved with art, because it's art is really subjective. And so I will always consider myself less creative because I don't have any achievements, you know. And it really does make me feel that way, uh, because achievement is something that it's measurable, and you can say, it's not that you can say somebody's creative when they have work to prove it. Everybody's creative, that's fine. But for me and myself, I think I would feel creative if I had done it. If I had worked published, I would be like, oh, maybe I'm good enough. Maybe it will be fine. Maybe I can do this, you know? And it does give me hope when I see the things that are being published. The paragraphs and words used in the books, it's sometimes I'm just lost for words when I read it or see online the reviews or something like that. So it does give me kind of hope, but I don't know if that will include me, you know? I don't know if it will be the rule for me to achieve and achieve being a writer or making that book, because it's, yeah, as I said, I don't it's hard to explain the feelings that are the emotions, because it's too close. For me it hits too close to home, because I'm really scared of not being published and my words and thoughts never being heard or seen. And that's the part of my YouTube, why I made this YouTube channel. But at the same time, I'm scared of criticism and the the bad side of publishing. I mean, of course, I will always accept critical thinking and criticism that has some structure and is can make me better. But in this world, there, you know, in the art world, it's really subjective. So not everybody will have criticism that can be good for you. And so I will always consider myself not creative enough until I reach a goal. And I'm not saying I'm not doing something about it. I'm truly trying to write that book. But just the thought of not being creative enough to finish it in some time, because, you know, I hear all these bestsellers and everything like that. They're like, oh, I write 3 books in a year. And I'm like, I only wrote half decent book in a year. That's really fun, and it's not like I'm not practicing. I am, but it just feels really unreachable for me right now because I don't think I'm creative enough to express it in a good way, to express it how I want to be, how I want it to be perceived. Does that make sense to you? I don't know. I'm not sure. So, I would like to know your thoughts. Honestly, do you consider yourself creative? What do you think creativity is for you? Do you think it's something subjective or not? Is it reachable or no? And so on and so on. I'm really not struggling, but it's really weighing hard on my heart. Okay, um, because I had this dream for so long, and now I'm really starting to doubt myself. Even if I had that mini achievement of writing a book and printing it out, and I made a cover and all that, blah blah blah, but it still doesn't feel real, you know. Even if when she says it's good, I'm like, yeah, you're lying to me because you love me. If that, you know. Um, but for now, I will definitely consider myself not creative enough because I don't have any accomplishment to back that up. That I'm truly creative. I'm not saying that you should think this way or you should feel this way. It's just the way that I feel right now, and I would like it to stop, but I don't know if it ever will. I don't know if it will stop, even if when I write a book. I don't know if I will feel better or worse, or I will just give up fully. But I promised myself that I will at least have that one book published, and at least like 5 people I think will buy it, and I'll be happy, die happy, and all of that. So, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of the day, and I cannot wait to tell you more about my random thoughts next time. Bye!